Hello everybody, today is March 5th. Welcome to Reflections coming from the Prayer of Recollection. Walking through Luke today is Luke, it was 15, 8 through 10. And I have something I want to show you. Okay, can you see this? Can you read it? It says, I make labels. Okay, so I'm going to take this here. I'm going to hit the white button print. Love this thing. Here it's coming. Can you see it? It's coming. Here it comes. Okay, it's almost out. Now it's out. I'm going to hit cut. Cut that thing off. And look. Oh, shoot. You can't read that because it's reversed. But you see it says, I make labels. I made a label. Okay, here we go. We're on the road again. Look, I have a new phone stand for the car. So hopefully we won't get so much road noise. I'm not driving it. Don't worry. We'll see how it works. So we're going to dive a little bit more back into the text here, and when we get going, I am on my way, getting ready to go. I'm going to be safe. I got my hands on the wheel. I'm not touching the phone, and here we go. We are on our way to go get my daughter, who hurt her arm in school and has to go to the doctor. So that's what we're up to today. And we're talking about the woman and the lost coin. So, I showed you my label maker a little bit ago, and I made a label. I make labels. That's something I do. I have a label maker. But the reality is, I don't just have a label maker. I am a label maker. Do you notice in the section before this where the tax collectors, the Pharisees and religious teachers of the law were mad at Jesus for associating with notorious sinners? They had made a label for them, and so they were able to dismiss them. This was really interesting to me because I just started listening to a book called Sway. It's about how people the biases in our mind that make people come to illogical conclusions, and can often lead to very poor decision making, and sometimes even with very severe consequences and outcomes. One short example they told about an emergency room set of doctors whose mother of a toddler came in, worried her daughter had an upset stomach, and they, in their mind, labeled her as what they called a frequent flyer, kind of this overly nervous mom she's really the problem, not the daughter. And once they labeled her in their minds, then they were able to dismiss her, and they stopped. They didn't even move forward with any typical standard emergency room protocols that involved the testing and assessment. And so mom came back next day still complaining because they sent her home without doing anything. Third day came back complaining and they again decided she's just a frequent flyer. Mom is the problem, not the daughter. Sent her home again. And the very sad story is, it turns out that the little toddler died, and they never even assessed her. So it's an interesting and unsettling proposition that we write people off like that. And it really reminded me of what is happening here in the story with the lost sheep and the lost coin. And it's like Jesus saw that these notorious sinners were actually lost people, not bad people. And not, even when we think now of the lost sinner, sometimes we even still put our own bad label on that's a bad person. And that's not how Jesus saw them. Jesus saw them as someone who is worth putting everything of value to you on the line to go after. Like the woman, presumably stopping all of her regular household duties so that she could light up the house and sweep it clean, and she must have already had told all of her neighbors that her coin was missing, and then obviously the sheep the same way, leaving all of the sheep who were still with the flock alone, and going to search for the lost one, and then joyfully carrying home on his shoulders. I can't get over that. I love that so much from yesterday, and I know we talked about that and the whole concept of carrying that sheep, how heavy he must have been. And I had told you about a different hymn I listened to yesterday. Well, there was another one I wanted to mention to you that made me think of that verse. The one that says, "There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. No, not one." I don't know if you know that old hymn. A lot of you people who know me will know that hymn, because we grew up with that. There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. Just picture the lowly Jesus pulling that sheep over his shoulders and joyfully carrying it home. There's not a friend like that. So, anyway, back to today's reading. I think it's such a beautiful contrast, the way that Jesus represents all of heaven searching for the lost one, and the contrast with the Pharisees, who see them as someone not even to be associated with. When I'm honest with myself, I'm like the Pharisees. I told you yesterday on the blog, I don't really even know that many notorious sinners, like in terms of like friends and people I hang around with. I'm not the one carrying them home on my shoulders. So I just pray that Jesus will make me more like him. And I'm so thankful for who he is, that he is like who he is, and he's not like me. Because I'm a lot like the Pharisees in my natural state. And then the other thing that I was reflecting on was thinking back to how Jesus, he searched for me like that. I think he searched for me like that a couple of times in my life. Well, every day, really, but a couple of major times. I know as a child, I gave my life to Jesus, but I feel like in some ways I was kind of in hibernation. I wasn't really seeking after him, certainly not with everything. But then my real wake-up call came in my late 30s. I probably have told you about that in the reading of some Dallas Willard. God just got my attention and really grabbed me. And he carried me home on his shoulders, day by day. I guess it's a long journey. And I'm just so thankful to Jesus for who he is and what he's done for me. And just imagining how even in this day and in this moment, how many people he's out there seeking and carrying home. And I praise you, Jesus.